Alright, take a look. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just seeing things, folks. Okay, so now let's transition to. Let me see if I already got. Okay. Yeah, now we go to here. Need a quick sip, folks. Sorry about that, folks. I'll be right back, folks. I gotta take care of stuff. It'll be only be for a few minutes. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Alright. Let me type it in the chat right now. Alright. Let's get back to business. Okay, so what do we got? We got winds on the lake shores. They're coming from the northwest, but crossing into the Appalachian Mountains. Looks like as though they're just moving generally to the northeast, is what it looks like. But Maine has light and variable winds, especially in parts of the mid-Atlantic where winds are coming from the south. But in places like northern Pennsylvania and upstate New York, as well as southern New England, the wind speeds top at about up to 25 throughout many places. In the south, let's take a look. Well, we do have a cold front. Yeah, we do have a frontal system that's located in central Florida, which tends to divide two parts of Florida: the cold north and the warm south. Southerly winds in South Florida, whereas there are northeasterly winds in North Florida, which tends to create some thunderstorms, possibly some severe weather in the central part of the Sunshine State. Not so sunshining at all, huh? I thought so. It gets even worse during the summer and fall months, particularly right around hurricane season. But right now, other than the contradiction of the state motto of Florida, let's move on to the other parts of the South. Carolinas, many parts have its winds somewhat light and variable, but South Carolina and Georgia, winds are coming from the northeast. But from northern Georgia to in northern Georgia, looks well. You know what? I'm just gonna say light and variable winds from Georgia to Alabama, eastern Tennessee. But in western Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, and parts of Louisiana, winds are coming from the north. Southern Louisiana has winds coming from the Gulf, particularly from the east, though, then shifting to the north, but converging right around the lower Mississippi Valley, just right between Baton Rouge and Jackson, Mississippi. See, in eastern Oklahoma and eastern Texas, winds are coming from the north, blowing up to 20 to 30 miles an hour. It's a little strong right between Corpus Christi and Houston. Yep. The western parts of two states, a bit light and variable from what it looks like. In the Ohio, let's see, in the Midwest, you have plenty of winds from eastern Kansas to Ohio and Michigan. Lower Michigan, winds are coming from the north, blowing at around up to 25 miles an hour. Upper Michigan and the parts of Wisconsin, winds are coming from the west, but then they shift to the south at up to 20 miles an hour. Light and variable winds for the most part in much of Minnesota and western Kansas. But from what it looks like, we do have plenty of southeasterly winds moving at up to 25 miles an hour. The western Dakotas have westerly winds moving up to 25 miles an hour as well. Nebraska, winds coming from both the west and from the south move to the north towards the Dakotas, moving up to 25 miles an hour. Sorry. Yeah. Iowa has northerly winds blowing up to 20 miles an hour. In the west, let's start off in the northwestern quadrant. We do have plenty of, generally southwesterly winds blowing up to 30 miles an hour, but near Spokane up to 35. And we do see in the Bitterroot Mountains winds shift to the north. Front range of the Rockies in Montana. Winds blowing up to 35 miles an hour, but regardless, they're shifting to the northeast. Oh my god, they really don't like me in this town. In Wyoming, we do have northeastward winds. Well, east-northeastward winds moving up to 30 miles an hour there. Plenty of light and variable winds all across much of the Great Basin and the desert southwest. Let's take a look at temperatures. Okay, so Maine has temperatures that range from the mid-single digits to like Edmonton's at 3, Patton at 14, Bangor 21, Marston 14, and 32 in Portland. Throughout the rest of New England, you get temperatures that are in the mid-20s to mid-30s. Upstate New York and Pennsylvania, all the way to West Virginia, you see temperatures that range from the upper 20s to the mid-30s. The greater New York City area, temperatures are in the 30s, going all the way down the I-95 corridor, where temperatures throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, they are in the mid-30s to mid-40s. In the Carolinas, we do have temperatures that range from the upper 30s to mid-50s. It's the same story in Georgia, but except it's up to 50 degrees. Tennessee, their temperatures are in the mid-40s to low 50s. Alabama, Mississippi, temperatures range from the mid-40s to mid-50s. Arkansas, they're in the 40s. Louisiana, 50s in the northern half of the state, southern half, 60s. Down to Florida. Northern parts of Florida, temperatures range from the mid-50s to the mid-60s. The rest of Florida, upper 60s to upper 70s. Oklahoma, temperatures range from the mid-30s to mid-40s. In the Panhandle part of Texas, temperatures range from the mid-40s. Well, actually, not just the Panhandle. You're looking at the northern part of Texas, where temperatures are in the 40s to low 50s, plus San Angelo. In the central part of Texas, from El Paso to Lufkin, temperatures are in the 50s. Then going down towards southern Texas, temperatures are in the 60s to mid 70s. In the Ohio Valley, you get temperatures all across the region. Actually, Ohio has temperatures in the 30s. Indiana, mid 20s to mid 30s. Kentucky, 30s. Illinois, temperatures range from 16 in Peoria to about 25 in both Chicago and Springfield. Then we do have all across Michigan. Let's see what we got. We got in the upper part of the upper Michigan and Wisconsin. Temperatures are in the mid single digits to mid teens. In lower Michigan, temperatures range from the mid teens to mid 20s. Minnesota, their temperatures are in the single digits, whether if you're like in the positive or negative side of the single digits mark. In the Dakotas, let's see, in North Dakota, temperatures range from -1 in Fargo to 16 in Dickinson. In South Dakota, temperatures range from, let's see, in the eastern side of the Missouri River, temperatures are in the mid-single digits to mid-teens. The western half, they're in the mid-teens to low 30s. Then we have throughout places like Iowa, temperatures are in the single digits to mid-teens. In Missouri, temperatures range from the mid-teens to mid-30s. Actually, let's just say that in the northern half of the Missouri River, temperatures are in the mid-teens to upper 20s. Mid-20s to upper 30s in the southern half of the Missouri River. In Kansas, Nebraska, temperatures range from the upper teens to the mid 30s. Kansas, temperatures range from the mid 20s to low 30s. In Montana and throughout, and as you can see, folks, we're in the Northern Rockies. Okay, so let's just dig deep. Okay, so we got 7 degrees in Glasgow, 21 in Harlem, and 28 in Miles City. The rest of Montana, temperatures are in the upper 20s to mid 30s. Northern half of Idaho, temperatures range from the mid 20s to mid 30s. Upper 30s to mid 40s in the southern half. Wyoming, temperatures are in the 30s. In Colorado, we do have temperatures that range from the mid 20s to mid 30s. In Utah, temperatures all across the Beehive State. Much of the state, they're in the 30s, but going into the southern part of the state, they range from the low 40s to mid 50s. Yeah, just trying to make myself comfortable, folks. Hold on. Okay. Nevada, their temperatures range, much of the state, they range from the mid 30s to mid 40s, upper 40s to low 60s in the southern tip of Nevada. In the desert Southwest, let's take a look. We do have temperatures in the northern half of the states of New Mexico and Arizona. They're in the 30s to mid 40s. In Kingman's at 59 degrees, along with let's say the Virgin River Gorge area where I-15 briefly is located there. I mean, I've done my research though. In the southern parts of New Mexico, temperatures are in the 50s. Southern half temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. 71, however, in Yuma.